welcome back to my channel. Happy Thursday, I think. Today we will be talking about my list of 24 books to read in 2024. Now, if you guys were here last December, this was something new that I started on my channel, just trying to kind of slightly integrate book content into my channel. And I've mentioned it a couple times during my daily videos, and it seems like something that you guys are still interested in. So I thought we could go through the books that I chose for 2024 so we could kind of wrap up that series. We've kind of been doing that a little bit this week. So then over the next week and a half to 2 weeks, I can make new lists and give you guys my plans for 2025. So, I'm going to be working on my current WIP in the background, which is Candy Cane Angel from Diamondpaintingshoppe. This is by the artist Hannah Lynn. It is a round drill 57 by 72 centimeter. We kitted this one up together, I can't remember if it was last Monday or 2 Mondays ago. And I'm on my last section, so I'm almost done, and I'm hoping to have the post review out for you guys this Friday, so tomorrow for you guys. I am filming on Wednesday, but I'm just going to be doing this in the background so I have something to do while I'm talking about these books. Now, like I mentioned, I actually picked 25 books. I did 24 books to read, and then I had an honorable mention. So I'm going to go through everything. I'm going to tell you what I rated them. If I read maybe like one book in the series or more. I made my list with series, but I made like the series one book, if that makes sense. So like, for example, the first one is Crescent City. That's 3 books as of right now, and I put all 3 as like the number 1 on the list. Now, it's not number 1 because it was like, this is my top priority. It was just number 1 because that was the first thing that came to mind. So let's go ahead and get into the wrap up for my 24 books for 2024. Like I just mentioned, the first thing on the list is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I love ACOTAR. I loved Throne of Glass. So I really wanted to just kind of wrap up what she has out. So all I have left is the Crescent City series. Unfortunately, I only read book 1. I read book 1, I want to say it was either January or February, because I finished Throne of Glass series in January. So I read book 1. I just haven't continued the series. It's not that I don't like it. It's just, I think some of it is, it's definitely not going to be my favorite series. I think my favorite series will be ACOTAR, and then after that is Throne of Glass. But sometimes, I don't know, sometimes I see quotes for Throne of Glass and I'm like, oh, maybe that's my favorite. It definitely won't be my favorite series of hers, but I think some of it is like, maybe I don't want to finish the series because then I won't have anything left of hers to read. So I am hoping to wrap that series up in 2025, and then I'll have like everything that she has done read. I can't remember if I said, I gave Crescent City House of Earth and Blood is the first one. I gave that 4 stars, and I really did like it, and I'm very excited to continue the series. There were just other books that I wanted to be reading. The Throne of Glass books are huge, so it was just, you know, taking up time that I wanted to allot to other books. So first one on the list, I guess I can like say I kind of completed, but I didn't finish the series. Second on my list was If I Had Only Told Her by Laura. Why did I say that like that? Laura? I don't even say my own name like that. By Laura Nolan. That was the second book to If He Had Been With Me. They're YA, but I would say they're a little bit more like new adult than young adult, just with like some of the themes that they talk about. If you want to sob, read If He Had Been With Me. I don't know if I had only told her if it was really necessary. It was fine. I gave it 4 stars. I liked it. basically in If He Had Been With Me, you follow two friends, Finn and, not Finn, what was his name? Was his name Finn? I gotta look it up. I think her name was Autumn, if I remember it correctly. But I read a lot of books, so I might be mixing those up. If He Had Been With Me. What is his name? Yeah, Autumn and Finn. Oh my god, I was right. They, like, their mothers are best friends, so they grew up together, and then you kind of just follow them growing apart, and then something happens. So it's a sad book. You will cry. Keep that in mind. So, like, I was kind of good with the first book, but I was interested in seeing what the author had in store for book 2. Again, I was sobbing, but you kind of just, like, you relive what happened in book 1 from a different point of view, and then you kind of follow the aftermath. So, you know, if you're interested, if you like YA books, I would recommend it. Again, I think it leans a bit more on the new adult side than the young adult side, so just keep that in mind. But I'm not going to tell you what you should allow your kids to read. I know one of my nieces has read it. I don't know if the other one has, but anyway, I did like it. I gave it 4 stars. First one checked off the list. Next is The Catch by Amy Lee. I'm just trying to think. I will pop up covers. Hopefully I've been popping up covers for these books somewhere on the screen, just so you can see, in case you can't, like, catch exactly what I'm saying, or, like, if I forget to say the author or whatever, hopefully you can see it on the screen. So the next one is The Catch by Amy Leah, or Amy Lee. I'm not exactly sure how it's pronounced. This is book 3 in her influencer series. The first one was Set on You, and the second one was, I think it was XOXO, maybe. I definitely preferred The Catch, I think is my favorite between the 3. I gave it 3.5 stars, which for me is still a good rating. Like, a 3-star is a good book to me. 5 stars, like, out of this world, off the charts. Oh my god, I was crying or I was laughing. Like, if you're giving me, like, a ton of emotion, I'm probably going to give you a 5-star. So I gave that one a 3.5 star, and I did really like it. Like I said, I think it's my favorite in the series. So second one checked off the list. Next up is A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. I did not read this series, which I'm bummed because the second and the third books came out this year. I got the third book, Something Garnet. I got that for my birthday from Steven, so I haven't read any of the series. I would like to, so hopefully I can prioritize that in 2025 because I'm very interested in it. But I do find, like, for me personally, when it comes to series, especially fantasy series, I do usually like to wait until there's a couple of the books out so I'm not, like, stuck on a cliffhanger. Because if you don't normally read fantasy, a lot of the times it's these really long series that end in cliffhangers, or, you know, like, you're just heartbroken and you're like, oh my god, I need to read the next book. So I think a part of me, like, purposefully put off A Dawn of Onyx because A Promise of Peridot came out in early 2024, but now 3 of the books are out. So, like, now I need to read it. So hopefully at some point I will do that. Next up, we have A Love Letter to Whiskey by Candy Steiner. I did not read this one, which is a bummer. It did enter my mind a few times to pick it up, and then either, like, new releases came out or something else on my shelves caught my attention. So didn't read that one. I do have the special edition. I think it was, like, the 10-year anniversary one that has bonus content, which is, like, what people say is the edition to read. Like, they say it just gives you so much more content and stuff. So I do have that one, but I have not read it yet. So Next on the list is Beach Read by Emily Henry. I did read that one. I actually read it when we were at the beach this summer. I read it in August. I gave that 4.5. Did I give it 4.5? Yeah, I gave it 4.5 stars. I really, really liked that one. I think at this point I've read 2 or 3. I've read Happy Place and Beach Read. I have Book Lovers. I don't think I've read that yet. So I think Beach Read is my favorite of the two that I've read so far. I would be interested to go back and read it again in the future, because I really did enjoy it. I know Emily Henry is very popular. I wait to pick up her books until the paperback comes out because that's what I have in my collection. She does her first release in hardback, so I haven't picked up her newest one, which is Funny Story, I think. But hopefully I'll pick that one up eventually. But I did really, really like Beach Read. I recommend it. It was it was good to read on vacation. Like, I really enjoyed reading that when we were away. Next up is a series that I did not read, and it's the Red Queen series by Victoria Aveyard. Honestly, that just totally fell off my radar. I don't know if that's a completed series or if she's still working on it, but I do own whatever is out as far as I know. Again, it just fell off my radar and wasn't something that crossed my mind to pick up, so we'll see. I definitely think at some point in 2025 I need to go through my shelves and pull books that have been there for a long time that I just haven't thought to read, because I think that the Red Queen is a YA fantasy series, and while I do enjoy YA, I just, like, I shouldn't abbreviate things without explaining. If you're not familiar with, like, book terms, YA is a young adult book. I just, like, I'm wondering if I'm just getting a little bit too old to be, like, really invested in it. So it's something I still would like to pick up. Like, maybe I'll read the first book and decide if it's something that I'm interested in, and then if not, I can pass it on to my nieces, who are, you know, my oldest niece will be, oh my God, she'll be 15. Oh, she'll be 15 this year. So, you know, she's definitely in that kind of age range that she would probably really enjoy it. So maybe that's a different type of video we can explore in the future, but unfortunately did not read that series. Next up is a series that I did read in entirety, which is the Chestnut Springs series by Elsie Silver. I read is it 5 books? Let me pull up my ratings for those ones. I think I read them in March. Yes. Okay, so Flawless is the first book. I gave that 4 stars. Heartless, I gave 4 stars. Powerless, I gave 4 stars. Did I finish it in April? Wait. 1, 2, 3. Oh, Reckless, I gave 4.5 stars, and Hopeless, I gave 4.5 stars. So I read all 5 books in March. I really enjoyed that series. In my opinion, it was definitely, like, worth the hype. I feel like that's one of the really popular series on BookTube or Bookstagram. I'm not on BookTok, but I would assume it's popular there as well. I really, really loved that series, and now I have read everything that Elsie Silver has out to date. I'm waiting for her newest release, which I think is like March or April of next year. It's the next book in her Wild Love series. I can't remember what that series is called, but anyway, I really enjoyed it. That was definitely a priority series for me in 2024 because I had collected all of the covers that are now out of print, because I don't like the new covers. So I had collected all of the older ones, and I'm really glad that I have those in my collection. So another one checked off the list, which even though it's just one item on the list, that was 5 books. So I feel like I can be a little proud of that. Next up is Unravel Me by Becca Mack. I think this is her Playing for Keeps series. I didn't read it. I'm not caught up. I think she has since put out another book, which is Fall With Me, if I'm remembering correctly. I haven't even ordered that book yet. So definitely something I'd like to pick up, but we'll see. Because I did like the first 2 books in that series. So I feel like I really enjoy reading ice hockey books, which, by the way, that is an ice hockey book. They're all on the same team. I feel like I really enjoy those in like January and February, so maybe I can pick that up in 2025. Next up is Abby Jimenez with Yours Truly. I gave this 4.5 stars and I loved it. I really enjoy Abby Jimenez's writing. She also put out another one, was it Just for the Summer this year? And I read that as well. That is a part of like an interconnected standalone with Yours Truly and Part of Your World. So if you wanted to pick that one up, I would just do a little bit of research because those 3 books are tied in together, loosely tied in, but still tied in. I really liked that one. The male main character struggles like severely with anxiety, and totally get that. The main female, and the main male are both doctors. They're kind of like going for the same position, but it ends up they're not actually going for the same position, and he struggles very, very severely with anxiety, and she kind of like helps him through that. It's cute. They write like little letters to each other. It's a good one. I highly recommend that one. Next up, we have a stretch that I didn't read any, so I'm just going to go through them quickly. The first one is Girl in Pieces by Kathleen Glasgow. Didn't read it. That's another one that's YA, if I'm not mistaken. I have read one other book by her. Her books are very like heavy. They're very deep, and I really need to be in the right headspace to get into her books, and it just wasn't one that I reached for in 2024. Also, You'd Be Home by Now by the same author. That's another one. Again, her work is just, it can be a lot. So keep that in mind if you decide to pick up her work. Next on the list is Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I've had this book on my TBR for so long, and so many people love it. It's just, I think I ended up putting it on a monthly TBR, and I just never picked it up. Again, I'm pretty sure it's like a fairly heavy book as well, and I don't know, I just wasn't reaching for that type of book really in 2024, so didn't get to it. Next up, we have Before We Were Strangers by Renee Carlino. Another one that I didn't grab. I think I put it on my February TBR, and I didn't reach for it. We'll see, maybe 2025. I believe that one takes place in New York City. That's kind of all I think it's a second chance romance. That's all I know about it. Then we have another series, which is the Shatter Me series by Tahara Mafi. I started this series. I read the first book, and then I read the first novella within the series, and I really, really liked them. I do want to continue that series. I had wanted to continue it in October of this year, but I ended up doing a reread of Twilight, so that kind of took priority over Shatter Me, but I would like to get to it. The author is actually starting a spin-off series with a character that we meet, I believe, in the first book, if I'm remembering correctly, and I think that comes out in 2025, so I would really like to get up to date with the series. This series is a YA dystopian series, so I don't think it'll take me too long to get through it once I get into it, but I haven't been able to track down the audiobooks on any of the services that I use, and I've kind of been like a Kindle reader and an audiobook reader a bit more recently, just because it's a little bit more convenient. I was able to get the first book, Shatter Me, on Everend, which is one of the audiobook services that I use, but it was in the ebook form, but you can't send that to your Kindle. You have to read it through the Everend app. So maybe I can get the rest of the books that way, and maybe that'll help me get through it a little bit quicker, but I am interested. I kind of have a little bit of a stacked TBR in January with some of the books that I want to get through, so maybe February or March, I can try to get through that series. But it is one that I want to definitely read in 2025. Next up, we have a couple of books that I did finish. We have Pretty Rings and Broken Things by Kat Singleton. This is a part of her Black Tie Billionaire series, which I love. I love Kat Singleton's books. I have read almost everything that she's ever come out with. There is a series that I started that I haven't finished, but all of her newer stuff I'm up to date on, and I really enjoy her books. I gave that one 4.5 stars. I think that was book 2 in that series. I'm fairly certain it's book 2. But I really liked it, so I'm not gonna tell you too much about it. It's kind of hard to talk about like second or third books in series because you don't want to spoil anything that happened in the first book, but I did really enjoy it, so I recommend if you're interested in contemporary romance. I will say that she is a pretty spicy writer, so if you're not into like open door scenes, maybe not that series, especially because one of her like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, she kind of like touts, is that the right word? Totes? One of like the things that she tries to use to draw people in is like the first book in that series has like 5 straight scenes of spice, or 5 straight chapters of spice. So if you're not into spicy books, skip it or read it and skip those chapters. Next up, we have Play Along by Liz Tomfordy. I have recently learned that you pronounce the E. It's not Tom Ford like I thought. So it's Tomfordy. And that is book 4 in the Windy City series. Loved it. I gave it 4.5 stars. The book before this, which is Caught Up, is my favorite in the series. And that is the older brother of Isaiah in Play Along. So I really loved that book as well. The series is really great. The first one in the series isn't my favorite. I don't like the characters in the first book, either of them. A lot of people don't like the male in the first book. I cannot stand the female character in that book. So if you've read that one, which is, what's the first book in that? Oh, it's gonna bother me. Hold on, I'll look it up for you guys. Windy City series. Mile High. If you didn't like Mile High, try to go into The Right Move, which is book 2, because book 2, book 3, and book 4 are so good. And the 5th book, which I can't remember the name of, the 5th book comes out in 2025. So definitely excited for that one. And I think that that's the end of the series, which is so sad. Yeah, Rewind It Back comes out in April. So very excited for that one. I'm gonna take a quick drink. I try not to drink on camera because I know it can be annoying, but oh no, I grabbed an empty cup. Okay, I guess I'm not taking a drink. Okay, next on the list is 1,000 Broken Pieces by Tilly Cole. I did not read this one, not because I didn't want to, but because the first book in this series destroyed me. The first book is 1,000 Boy Kisses, and I would love to know if any of you have read that one. I read that in 2023, and I vividly remember laying on the couch after reading that and just sobbing for like an hour. So if you're not into books that make you cry, don't read that one. This book, 1,000 Broken Pieces, follows the younger sister from the character in the first book. So I bought it when it released. It's on my shelves and it is a book that I want to read, but I'm a little bit nervous because the ending of 1,000 Boy Pieces took me by surprise, and I'm a little worried that something similar is going to happen when I read 1,000 Broken Pieces. So didn't read it. Own it, but didn't read it. we have a pretty decent stretch here of books that I read. So Love Unwritten by Lauren Asher is book 2 in her Lakefront Billionaire series. I gave that 4 stars. I really liked it. I think I liked it better than the first book in that series, which is Love Redesigned. I think. Maybe they're like neck and neck, but I did really enjoy that one. I like Lauren Asher's books. That's a single dad nanny book, if that's your type of trope. Next up, we have Powerless by Lauren Roberts. I gave that 4 stars. That is a YA fantasy series, but I would say it leans a bit more on like the new adult versus the young adult side. I gave it 4 stars. I really, really liked it. I also read the novella Powerful. That's a really sad book. If you have read Powerless, then you know who Powerful follows, and the ending, like, you know what's happening, because obviously what happens to this person happens at the end of Powerless. So you go into the book knowing what's going to happen, and it's still like is very upsetting. And then I also read the second book that came out this year, Reckless, and I gave that 4.5 stars. So I'm really excited to see the wrap up for that series. I believe it's just going to be 3 books. I cannot remember the name of that, but I think it is coming out in 2025, and I'm very excited. I would recommend the audiobooks for this series because the people who read for it are just really, really good. So enjoyed that one quite a bit. Next, we have another Kat Singleton, Chase Our Forevers. I loved that one. That is part of her Sutton Mountain series. I think it was the last book in that series, which is such a bummer. Cowboy romances, of course. And that one I gave 4.5 stars. I'm very excited though, because Kat is coming out with a new series that follows like a chef. Like, I think it's like a country club series, and it's the country club that you meet in her Black Tie Billionaire series, the one I was talking about earlier. So I'm very excited for that. Like, I'll read anything that Kat Singleton puts out. That's how much I enjoy it. So Chase Our Forever's got 4.5 stars. Next, we have The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I gave that one 4 stars. I liked it. My favorite from her is still All Roads Lead Here. I gave that 5 stars, and it was so good. So a part of me was kind of hoping that I would have that same feeling, and I didn't love it. But if you love slow burn and you like fade to black, like you don't like spicy scenes, I highly recommend Mariana Zapata, because she's like the queen of slow burns, and her writing is really good. I will say, for that one, I listened to the audiobook, and I have the old print edition of The Wall of Winnipeg and Me because I don't like the new covers. She's moving to cartoon covers, and I just don't love the cartoon covers. So the audiobook is like heavily edited, which I'm assuming means the newer print version is heavily edited. Because that book came out like 10 years ago, the first edition. And some of the things that you could get away with saying 10 years ago, you really can't say now. So the book has been edited. But if you're listening to the audiobook and it differs from your physical copy, that's just something that I noticed. So I did like it. I gave it 4 stars. We're almost done. Oh my gosh. Next on my list was to finish what's out of the Witch Collector series. I didn't do that. I read book 1 in 2023, and I haven't touched the series since then. And it's not because I didn't like it or that I don't like it, but I believe the author has pushed back, or the publisher has pushed back, the release of the next book. So I just kind of haven't been interested in picking it up, knowing that I'm not going to be able to get what's coming out when I thought I was. So haven't touched it, but I do have the audiobooks, I believe, through Everend for that one. Next up, we have Ruthless Vows by Rebecca Ross. I did listen to that one. I was able to borrow that one through Libby, which was great because the audiobooks for that series, it's the Letters of Enchantment. It's just 2 books, Divine Rivals and Ruthless Vows. The audiobooks are so good. The narrators for those books are phenomenal. So I highly recommend the audiobooks for those ones. I was able to get Divine Rivals through Everend, but the audiobook never came. So I ended up finding that one through Libby, which was great. And I really enjoyed that series. I gave Ruthless Vows 4 stars, but I definitely still prefer Divine Rivals. I just think the first book is so good. But the series is great. The final thing on my list before my honorable mention is the Daughter of No Worlds trilogy by Carissa Broadbent. Didn't even touch it. I didn't start it. Again, the audiobooks are on Everend for that one, but I just didn't get around to it. So, oh well. But I did, or I do hope to read that in 2025. I really like Carissa Broadbent. She just had a new release for her Crowns of Nyaxia series that just came out. I haven't read that either, but my Siri is going off. But I do hope to get to that new release and this series in 2025. And then, lastly, we have my honorable mention, which is A Little Life by Hanya Yanagihara. Didn't read it. I thought about it. I've seen that book on sale a couple of times, and I've thought about picking it up, but that book, from what I have heard, is quite literally a trauma dump. Like, I have heard that it is just trauma after trauma after trauma. I think it follows like 4 men, young men, who move out to New York City, if I'm remembering correctly, and then it's just like everything that could happen to a person happens to these people, and it's awful. So I'm not really sure why I was like, yeah, I want to read that, because I have literally seen people that like sob, like they cry through the entire thing. So I didn't pick that one up. So let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 things that I checked off of my list, but some of those check marks included like multiple books within a series. So while I didn't necessarily finish the 24 for 2024, I definitely read quite a few books off of this list. So I'm pretty happy with that. Let me know what you guys think. I do plan to do a list of 25 books for 2025. That'll be next week or maybe the week after. I haven't even come up with the books yet, so we'll see. I think I'm going to focus for 2025 on books that I already have. I included a number of new releases in the 24 books, but I think I would like to pick the 25 books from books that I already have in my library. So we'll see what happens. I hope that you guys enjoyed this segment of today's video, and I will send you guys over to today's Advent unboxing. Unboxing? Opening? Same difference. Okay, everyone, we're back with day 12 of our Advent calendars. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am. I'm even caught up to date on my puzzle calendar, which Luna is currently trying to get into.
She's just kind of supervising it.
I will show you guys the most recent update. Ooh, we have a Santa hat. Or just a winter hat, I guess. I forgot to bring a cup in. Sorry, guys.
I think the quality of those have been pretty good.
I think so, too. I've used a couple of them. They're really cute.
We'll see if Luna can chew on that one.
She will.
Chew and break the little...
Luna, is she messing with my... Oh, it's just garbage.
Okay, I was going to say, geez.
Is she messing with my puzzle?
I think she might be. Or is she messing with the cardboard?
I think it's just the box. I had to make my own little puzzle...
Oh, I did it backwards.
Puzzle keeper thing.
I am terrible at this year's Advent.
Maybe it's the Advent calendar?
Maybe it's just me.
No. I thought you were about to tell me it wasn't in there.
I just found one.
What?
I picked one out that wasn't.
Steven!
I didn't remember seeing it, but
Spoilers!
just so you know, I think it's in the wrong spot.
Again?
It wasn't aligning with any of them.
Okay, I'll have to look at it.
Another one. I think this is similar. Isn't this the same one?
Is that silver and the other one was gold? No, what are you
I think
eating?
so. Maybe one had a blue tail.
Maybe. Okay. And then day 12. Ooh, we have Harry and Hedwig on day 12. You guys can see Luna right now. All right, come here, Loons. There she is. What do we got? Oh.
Oh, Jesus. Don't rub up against the camera.
I think it's supposed to be like a...
Oh, it's a map.
Like a mini poster. Come on, Loons. A map of Hogwarts.
Is it?
I think. Yeah, the Great Hall, Marble Staircase, the Quad, Hospital Wing. At first I thought it was going to be like a mini Marauders map, but it looks like just a map of the school.
What is the Marauders map?
It's the one that's like, I saw him and swear I'm up to no good or whatever. Where you can see everybody's footsteps.
Oh,
that, like
yes.
that Fred and George give Harry.
Yes.
So.
And is that when he what movie was that? The Chamber of Secrets?
No, it's Prisoner of Azkaban, because he sees Peter Pettigrew.
Oh, yeah. Yes, but he was in rat form, right? That's why he could never find him.
Yeah. Spoiler,
yes.
spoiler.
Look at that.
Okay, I'm going to cut this really quickly, and I'm going to go over and show you guys the...
Oh, first I have a question of the day.
Oh, question of the day. Go for it.
Question of the day. Moe's or Chipotle? I'm not going to tell you guys what I favor, because I don't want to start a war.
I think I've talked about it before, actually. All right, are you ready to look at my calendar?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, here's the updated puzzle advent. I finished this whole row last night. Why are you doing that?
I'm waiting.
So this is day 12. Day 11 is definitely the Luna cat. What do you think?
Yes.
Definitely. Come here, Lance.
100%.
Come on. Everybody wants to see you, but the living room's a mess, so I don't want to show the living room. Come on. Come. I guess not.
Why is the living room a mess,
just
though?
show-
I see a lot of cat toys.
There she is. That's not usually there. I was working on the grocery order, so. Okay. That is our day 12 update. We will see you in tomorrow. Oh, now she comes. After I show everyone the mess, then you show up. Go figure. Oh, by the way, I made my own puzzle keeper. So I cut a box. And now I can cover it so Luda doesn't get into it. That's pretty innovative.
It was.
All right, we'll see everybody in tomorrow's video. Bye.